Trojan Sports Now.
The baseball team has finished their road stretch and will return home for a conference series at Riddle Pace Field. The Trojans will be taking on Texas State for a 3-game series over the weekend. Troy and Texas State both sit tied for 5th place in the Sun Belt Conference standings. These two teams are 10-8 in conference play, but Troy has the overall better season record. The Trojans are currently 21-20 on the season, while the Bobcats are 18-20-1. The two teams faced off last year in San Marcos, Texas. Troy was swept by Texas State. The Trojans lost Game 1 7-3, Game 2 5-2, and Game 3 6-2. Troy is coming off a series loss to UT Arlington, while Texas State is also coming off a series loss to UL Lafayette. The two teams will face off as the Trojans try to get their conference series winning streak back.
After finishing the road trip that consisted of 11 straight road games, the softball team returns home after going 7-4. The team's overall record is now 29-20. With 2 regular season series left, the Trojans have a chance to add to the win column. The Trojans will host UT Arlington and South Alabama at home in the coming week. Head coach Beth Mullins talks about how it's nice to finally be back home and playing in front of a home crowd.
It's always nice to be home. I am very, very happy to be home for the next 2 weeks, and I think our girls are. I thought they did a good job of, embracing the 2-week adventure we went on and we called them Road Warriors, and I think they were. I think 7-3 is, we gave away 2 games in my opinion. But I think it's going to be great. I think our fans have been waiting for us to get back home. I've been asked a lot over the last 2 weeks of when are y'all going to be back home, so I think we're going to have a great crowd. We always do, so I think with being, this big weekend, it's going to be even better.
The Trojans will host UT Arlington this weekend for a 3-game series.
The track and field team has steadily been improving through the outdoor season with team wins, top place finishes, and breaking personal records. The Trojans are gearing up for a couple of invitationals over the weekend. The Trojans will split their team for the next 2 competitions. Half of the team will be headed to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania to compete in the Penn Relays. The relays will include a variety of events. There will be a men's decathlon and a women's heptathlon. There will also be the women's 400-meter hurdles and 4x100. The men will compete in the 3,000-meter steeplechase. And while some Trojans will be competing at the Penn Relays, the rest of the team will be competing in the Golden Eagle Classic. This competition will be held in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. The events will include the women and men's long jump, the 3,000-meter steeplechase, the 1,500-meter run, the 4x400-meter relay, and other running events. The Trojans are coming off the last tournament at the Tiger Track Classic, where various Trojans claimed top place finishes and broke their own personal records. After these 2 competitions, the Trojans will prepare for the Sun Belt Conference tournaments held in Gulf Shores on May 8th.
And after winning the Sun Belt Conference title, the men's tennis team is headed to a regional qualifier. This will be the 2nd time in school history that the team has qualified for a regional appearance. The team finished the regular season with a 25-6 record. They finished undefeated in the Sun Belt Conference play as well. The Trojans will learn where and when they will play on April 28th. And with an uncertainty of whom they will be playing, Coach Scott Kidd talks about how he trusts his team no matter who the opponent.
The thing about this team is, if we were to draw a top 40 team, people know that when they play some of the top 20 teams, we've played them 3-4. We've took them down to the limit. So I don't know what it is about them. They're fearless, this young team. When they play a top 20, they think they compete. They go out and they push them to the limit. So we've had 3 tough matches with top 20 teams this year. I trust them. I believe them. I think they can do it.
The NCAA Regionals will begin on May 8th on campus sites around the country.
The women's golf team are the 2015 Sun Belt Conference champions, but the season does not end there for the Trojans. The Trojans will prepare for the NCAA Regionals, where they will get an automatic bid thanks to their conference championship. The Trojans peaked at just the right time in the regular spring season. In their last tournament, Troy finished 1st place in the John Kirk Panther Classic. The number 83 Trojans are looking to see where they will be playing in the NCAA Regional. The regionals are set for May 7th through 9th.
Student athletes often get a lot of notice while they are a student on various university campuses.
But 2 former Troy University athletes went on to become coaches, but they have more in common than you think.
2 former Troy University student athletes have more in common than being former players or current coaches. Mark Smart and Taylor Smart are father and daughter who both coach for Troy University. And both of them talk about what encouraged them to become a coach.
I'm so lucky to do this for a career path because I've never really thought coaching was a job. It was more of a passion. And so I'm very fortunate to be able to call that my career.
My dad, obviously, he influenced a lot. Like I grew up with him always at the ball field, so that's kind of all I really knew. But when I realized like how much you get from the game, like I wanted to make sure that I gave back to what I was given.
The veteran coach and the first-year coach both have their pieces of advice on what it takes to be a good coach.
To be a good coach, you have to love what you do. You have to work really hard. Coaching is a job that requires a lot of time and effort, and many times away from your family. But you have to love what you do, and if not, it becomes a burden.
Definitely takes a lot of time. It's not you show up and get it done. You're there a lot of long hours, a lot of relationships that you build that continue to.
And both Smarts talked about how much Troy University means to them and how they bleed Cardinal and Black.
Troy means a great deal to me. My wife, Deborah, is a graduate of Troy. Now my daughter just graduated last summer. My son will enroll next fall. So coming back to Troy was very special to me, and then the opportunity to work for and with Coach Pierce made it all the much better because he's such a terrific person and a great coach.
Well, I mean, we're Trojans through and through. I'm happy that my brother chose Troy, and he's going to get to play for my dad. It's a pretty cool experience. Pretty much, I mean, we bleed Cardinal.
And both Mark Smart and Taylor Smart talk about what it means to them to have their family member coaching at the same institution.
She's going to be an excellent coach, Amy. She's young, she's inexperienced. Coach Mullins, the head softball coach, was kind enough to give her her first opportunity. And, you know, for her mother and I'm glad it's still here in Troy. Eventually, she will probably have to leave Troy to get her first career path started. But I'm awfully proud of what she's accomplished.
It's pretty cool. The first staff meeting we had, he was like, I cannot believe that you're in here. You know, just kind of like shook his head and was like, it's so weird seeing you in here.
Mark Smart will take over as head coach for the baseball team for the 2016 season.
That's all the time we have for Trojan Sports Now. Check us out online at trojanvision.troy.edu to catch anything you've missed.
For Colin, Cahill, I'm Amy Austin. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Trojans.
Trojan Sports Now.